Good morning, CTM Monarchs. This is Dr. C coming to you from my cozy house on this first Sunday of 2022. Happy New Year to all of our Monarch parents, families, students, teachers. We're so glad that 2022 is upon us and we could put 2021 behind us. While we know that 2022 might have some challenges still yet with the coronavirus and the new variant, we are committed to power through together. As always, our vision at Coleridge Taylor Montessori is to empower all students to achieve academic success, socio-emotional growth, and the development of global and cultural competencies that will ensure future success. Our mission at Coleridge Taylor Montessori is to provide a safe, hands-on, rigorous learning experience rooted in the Montessori method. In partnership with students, parents, caregivers, and staff, we will support the growth and potential of each and every child. Our core values are empathy, respect, equity, collaboration, and academic success. And our Monarch promise. We, the Monarchs of Coleridge Taylor Montessori, value one another. We honor our differences and show empathy towards others. We respect ourselves, others, and our school. We collaborate as a community and work towards equity. We are empowered to reach academic success and become next generation leaders. Our KDE Improvement Priorities. Number 1 is a commitment to a shared mission, vision, values, and belief system about teaching and learning high expectations and rigor for all of our students. That's a part of a continuous system of improvement. Number 2, monitor the school's behavior management system that supports a safe learning environment and a positive school culture and climate for all. And 3, purposeful professional development for all staff that supports the faculty, staff, and schools' continuous improvement. We've got a list of notes and big reminders for our parents. This is probably the most important thing that I have to say to you all this week. We know that Omicron is here. It's impacting all of our families. I'm sure that you know somebody, you or somebody you know has been impacted by this new variant. Please know that we're going to double down on our COVID mitigation at CTM. Masks must stay up. Please make sure your children understand that they must not be without a mask unless they are eating or drinking. They must wash their hands. They must wash their hands with warm, soapy water multiple times a day, and they must space themselves out. I know that for 2 weeks they haven't been able to see their friends. They're going to want to group together and crowd together, but we have to make sure that we're pushing that at home and also at school, that they need to keep their space. 3 feet is the current space requirements, but if we can get them up to 6 feet apart, that's awesome too. Dr. Polio has encouraged principals to let you know that JCPS does not have unlimited NTI days. The previous iteration of the state legislature, the General Assembly, had given 20 days in our last legislative cycle, to each school district to be used individually by schools as necessary. That sunsetted, that law went away on December 31st. And so all we have right now to use in terms of remote learning is 10 days from state law that was passed in the spring and 4 extra days that JCPS has built into the district schedule, for a total of 14 possible days for the district to use for remote learning. Dr. Polio has encouraged us to let you know that we will have to be prepared for the possibility of a short or intermittent remote learning days cycle, meaning JCPS may have to go remote for a few days in the future because we have a staffing shortage that's due to the new variant. To that same point with the new variant, do not send your student to school sick under any circumstances. If your child is vomiting, they need to stay home. If they have diarrhea, they need to stay home. If they have a runny nose, they need to stay home. If they have a fever, they need to stay home. If your child is otherwise unwell, they need to stay home. If your child has a rash, they need to stay home. Stay home and then see your medical provider for the next steps. You can also contact the school. We'd be willing to help you, give you some guidance, or you can call health services at 502-485-3387. Again, on the COVID note, Wednesday, we have our COVID testing at school. So please know Wednesday afternoon is our COVID testing. And then a non-COVID note that still is health related. The weather has begun to change. We are going to follow this guide to determine whether or not it is too cold to go outside. So please know this is what we will be following, and it's going to be based on the wind chill. Okay. So this is something that you can look back at. If it's green, if we're in the green with the wind chill, we will still go outside. If it's yellow with the wind chill, we will use caution. If it's red, we will not go outside. So please know that if your child has a health condition that would keep them from going outside, you must contact the main office to ensure that we have some medical documentation from the child's pediatrician on file. Part of our Montessori underpinning is that students spend time outside every day. If your child cannot go outside due to a medical condition, please make sure you have that documentation on file with us. Otherwise, they're going outside with their class. Please make sure your children are dressed for the weather. It is no longer shorts weather. It is pants weather. It is no longer jacket weather. It is coat weather. If you need help with that, we are more than happy to help you out. And Mr. Baker can support Miss Washington, and the FRC can help you. And a final note, which is a big reminder. Social media is not for children under 13. It is not for children under 13. Please know that if your child participates in any negative interactions on social media, and those negative interactions come into the school with your child and other children involved will be disciplined based on the Student Supports and Intervention Handbook, which is up to and including out-of-school suspension. Please know that we are not joking about social media in the hands of our children. It is disruptive to their socio-emotional learning. It is disruptive to the school environment, and it is negatively impacting their experiences right now during this terrible, terrible pandemic. If you have questions about that, you can reach out to me. Our students of the week from before break are as follows. Kindergarten, Kaylin, Trinity, and Anaya. Miss Grease and Miss Joyner's class, Muhammad and Justin. First grade, Jaden and Tony. Second grade, Eddie, Adriana, and Kalahari. Third grade, Taraji, Angelina, and Brooke. Fourth grade, Xavion. And fifth grade, Tamaya, Jaden, and Madison. Congratulations to our students of the week. Remember, attendance counts. School begins every day at 9:05, and students need to be in their classrooms by 9:05 each day so that they are not tardy. Remember, being on time to school is important. It helps us stay on track to graduate elementary, middle, high school, and college. What's happening in classrooms this week? We're going to be doing some makeup assessments for those who need it from before break. When time is canceled until further notice due to the new variant. And special area rotations are switching this week for the new grading period, but students will remain in their homeroom classrooms to support the COVID mitigation and contact tracing efforts that we've been doing. As a reminder, our big three, our MONARCH big three, stay in your area, hands, body, and objects to self, kind words, and kind actions. And finally, if you have the need for a parent mental health request for referrals, please see the link there and call the school, and Mr. Randy or Miss Metcalf would be willing to help you. And finally, we have our COVID information. Remember, you can always get tested. Your kid can always get tested at school on Wednesday afternoons that we are in session. Remember, boys and girls must wear their masks to cover their noses and mouths unless they have a mask waiver. And if students participate in test to stay, meaning they've been in contact with somebody who has COVID, but they themselves have not tested positive, they can get tested at a JCPS site, or our Wednesday testing, and then test to play is the same thing. Remember, it is important that we get our vaccines for our students that are eligible. The COVID vaccine is not going to keep you from getting coronavirus, but it keeps you from getting a very, very, very bad case of coronavirus. Please know that for some people, it does enough for their immunity that they don't ever catch it. For others, they might get a mild illness, and really, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to mitigate the spread of coronavirus, and one of the best ways to do that is to get your shot. My youngest daughter, who goes to CTM, got her first shot last week. She goes back in January. I've been boosted. My husband's been boosted, and hopefully my 2 teenagers will be able to be boosted this next week when the FDA gives full approval for the booster shot for students who are and kids who are 12 to 15. Remember, wearing your mask is also another way that you can help us mitigate this new variant, and wearing it correctly. It must be over your nose and mouth snugly. And then lastly, washing your hands for 20 to 30 seconds with warm soapy water, getting all of the areas, that's important too. If you have questions about any of these things, or you need some help or support or guidance, reach out and we are willing to help. Finally, I know it's been 2 weeks. Please don't double park on Chestnut Street or release students to just Chestnut Street. It is unsafe. Do not do it. And if you have any questions about our additional reminders, please look at the Monarch Messenger from the last few weeks. If you need anything, reach out. Have a magical Montessori week. Take care.